Hey everyone, it's Nia aka Saiko Food and welcome to Neighborhood Noms. This is a segment on my channel where I'm giving more recognition to the foodie community and learning more about their stories and what makes them special through interviews. So stay tuned and let's feast. Hi, what's your name?
I'm David. I'm the owner of FAKA'S Island Grill, located in Santa Ana, California.
What's your story? What's the background?
The story, I always wanted to do a restaurant. Like ever since high school, this is like exactly what I told people I was gonna do. So it's like one of those pipe dreams that everyone's like, oh yeah, like whatever, like, you know, like it'll never happen. Like my whole thinking was like if you look at different cultures, there's always like an Americanized version of like different cuisines, not necessarily like authentic cuisine, and I wanted to do that with Polynesian food. I won a business plan competition, I think it was 2013, and they gave me like $5,000 to like start it up. But like $5,000 is all I had, so like I went out and like bought what I could afford, which happened to be like campfire equipment and a taco cart, and I started slanging like on like Facebook and Craigslist. Maybe like 2 months or 3 months into it, we were at the right place at the right time. We were like a last minute fill-in, an organizer for this Coachella event that was there, and he tapped us to do his like VIP Coachella party thing. Nobody knew who we were, and we were going against like well-known names. There was one event in particular that would call us up and they're like, hey, like we want 4 food vendors, but the other food vendors, if you show up, they don't want to go against you guys. But we had like that kind of like hardcore following, and after that it opened up a bunch of doors. For like a couple years we were like underground. We did that for like 2 going on to 3 years, and we were like legends in that ground. I actually like took a break from food for like a year for some personal stuff. I actually came back just with the intent of selling FAKA'S. I had some investors that were interested and they wanted to take the brand national. What ended up happening with that is they kind of told me like my business plan was more theoretical rather than actually like I hadn't done it yet. So they're like, we don't even know if what you're saying is like it would work. So I went on Craigslist. I found like this lady that would let me rent out her kitchen. So she was just like, hey, like I do breakfast and lunch, and after 3 o'clock you can do whatever you want. We were like this like hole in the wall spot. Like you had to kind of like know what's up to find us. Even with that story, it was crazy because I found out the girl that was running the place, the reason she didn't care like what we did after 3 o'clock is because they were laundering money. So that was it. So she tried to muscle her way in and try to get me to sign over my name. I ended up sneaking out of that like restaurant, and it was funny because I called some like Mormon missionaries to help me because they were the only ones I knew in the area. And so they came and they were like, yo, like look here, are we stealing from here? I'm like, no man, this is all my stuff. Like I just got to get it the hell out of here. And there's some like sketchy cats, and like we need to get the hell out of here. I met the owner of 4th Street Market. We came in here, I like I said, I didn't have any money when I started this. I had money for like the first and last month's rent, and I had money for a couple months of labor, and I had money just to paint the walls. But everything extra, like as far as like doing a wrap and doing TVs, I didn't. Still have hand-me-down equipment right now that we make work. The fact that we make broken stuff like work for us, like it's just kind of crazy. Because I think I have a new man. This is the first time I've ever hired a manager, and he's impressed by the fact that we made it this far with what we had. And he was like, but dude, if it's working, it's working. But he was like, but it's time to level up. He was like, we're bigger than hand-me-downs at this point. And he was like, you got it this far. He was like, watch what happens when we actually have what we're supposed to have, and watch how far they're gonna get. So we were like an underground thing for a while, and I still think we are. Like I'd rather keep it like that for a while. This is like us and our mixtape grind, and so like I'm cool with that. Like I'm cool with like, you know, like this being our Section 80 or like our So Far Gone. Like this is before we drop the classic, and like I'm okay like building right now, build like this hardcore audience right now. And then when we like actually start to really come out, like people have a huge following. You know what I mean? It'd kind of be like, oh man, you don't know who FAKA'S is? It's kind of like when Kendrick dropped. You're like, oh, you don't know who Kendrick is? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kid Mad City dropped, and like everybody knows who he was because like his mixtape grind. And so like I want to do the same thing. I don't want to be like a Lil Pump and like just, you know, just go viral and just open up a bunch of spots. And like I don't have that like hardcore following. Like right now, I think we really do have that. We really have people that really ride with us because they like have stories of like seeing us at like some random event. I mean, even to this day, like I'll have like old customers hit me up and that have used me from, you know, way back when they found me on Craigslist, and they'll ask me like, hey, like would you still do a party? Would you still do my party? Like this happened to me yesterday, and I still gave it to her for the price that I gave it to her before because I feel like I know it's coming. I know we're gonna open up more restaurants. But I feel like right now, before I start doing all that, I really want to savor the moment, because like I think once I cross over, once you go big, like there's no going back.
What kind of like dishes that makes you guys special, like versus like maybe like other places?
Because we're a Hawaiian barbecue spot, for the most part, what gets orders as mixed plates, it comes with, you know, like the rice, the mac salad, and for us it comes with like a grilled curry pineapple and like a sweet tangy slaw. What makes us different from your typical chain is the fact that we have like a garlic shrimp that's done with like the huge jumbo shrimp with the shell on, which is how you eat it. In the islands, our other popular items are the pork belly. Islanders, we go crazy for pork. We like the fattier meats. You usually see glue pork, right? For me, like I wanted to do something a little different. So we still brought the pork element, but we did pork belly, which is really popular. But what makes us like really, really unique is the fact that like we started doing more fusion items. And that actually came because when we were doing events, a lot of times they would shut us down if we wanted to do like a rice bowl, like anything like Hawaiian mixed plate. They'd be like, no, you can't do that because we already have someone doing rice bowls. So like at every event, they'll have just like a certain amount of vendors. Like you only have a certain amount of cotton candy vendors. You only have a certain amount of kettle corn people. So if they already had someone that was already doing like rice bowls, that would like, they would tell us like, no. What we started doing was creating like a fusion item, and like that ended up being like why we were known. Our fusion items is more of like a story of us. Like it's a story of like us adapting. My wife's just Fijian Indian, and in Fiji they make their own masala. It's like a curry. It's its own spices, but they're using ingredients that are local, right? And so we actually don't tell people it's curry, because like if they thought it was curry, the curry that we have in the States is what you're used to in India, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like there's not that many Fijians out this way. And so we use that seasoning on a lot of our different items, and like a lot of people that they never put it together as curry that they're eating. And like that's the reason why we don't sell it, because you would think like curry's gonna taste a certain way and ours doesn't. And so like it was really just about like, how we could adapt our culture for like mass consumption.
What is like something that you want like your customers to know, like a message that you want to send them?
Man, that's a hard one. You know what I would want my customers to know, and this is something that it doesn't have to be obvious, but like we're kind of telling a story through our food, and like when you dig deeper, I would love them to like dig deeper and like to see like where everything is coming from, because it all has like a purpose. You know what I mean? And so like that's kind of what I want to get through like at first. Like I want people to understand the story, understand like the grind, understand like what I'm trying to represent, and then, you know what I mean, let them take it from there.
Hey everyone, it's Nia aka Saiko, and today I'm at FAKA'S Island Grill in 4th Street Market in Santa Ana, and I have a little clip for you guys. You know what they do is like, for like their butter, it's like really savory. The pineapple actually makes it really better. I like how it's like scattered, so it's not completely covered in pineapple. If you guys want to see the pineapple itself, they put like pineapple and paprika on it. Yeah. Light refresher. We have their like mac and cheese with also paprika on top of it. Just what I expected. Classic Italian. I tried all the sides. Now I have the garlic shrimp with furikake on top of it. It also has the shell still because that's how they cook their Polynesian food. But we're just gonna take a bite now. Oh my god. Whoa. The glaze that they have on it, it's like kind of buttery, but like the garlic makes it so much better. And you think like if you're like freaked out with eating like a shell on top of the shrimp still, this one isn't too bad. Like it's pretty soft, so it's not really like you're gonna have a hard crunch in it. But sick. I feel like this is the one I would remember the most out of all the stuff. Also, let me get some rice because unbalanced. This is their pork belly. I feel like the marinade is the one, like it's been sitting in marinade for a really long time, so you know that it's like actually like rich throughout the meat. Kind of reminds me of like adobo if you're Filipino, but definitely has the curry taste to it, but it's not like with the sauce on top of it. It's like really like the marinade, it's kind of like tasting like curry. This is the inside. This one's really tender. I like this one. Just alone with the pork belly, you probably like feel really filled up. So I feel like it's nice because you have something that's heavy with like the shrimp and then with the pork belly, but then you also have like something cold and chill with coleslaw and then like the pineapple and then like the mac and cheese. Good balance of everything, and I honestly like appreciate the way that they like really consider their food. Talking to the owner with David, he was really like invested on really like bringing the roots back to like FAKA'S like island food, but then it's nice because it has like that modern twist. Because I don't know, like when you think of like Polynesian food, I don't think you always think of something that's like, I don't know, like heavy marinade or even like with curry tasting, but there's like so much spice in it, so it kind of adds like, I feel like it adds like some of the like Southeast Asian kind of things, like, so that's what like my comfort food is. But this is definitely something that I like come back for. It's so delicious. Like things like this, it's not like heavy like a grilled cheese, like where you feel like so greasy afterwards, but then this one, it's like still fluffy, still intact. And they also, with the cheese, they grill the bottom of the cheese and then kind of left that mountain on top for like that really cheeseful stuff. It's kind of nice. Thank you so much for watching at Saiko Food, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out FAKA'S Island Grill on Instagram. So see you later. Abush.